Hey, I'm Nate from GamesKeys.net, and in this video, I'm going to share some useful tips and secrets to help you improve your gameplay. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Let's get started. I'll start with the first trick, which can be called horse hiding. The trick will be helpful when fighting the bosses on horseback. The trick is about hiding your horse whenever an attack comes your way. You can easily get back on your horse and continue combat. As you can see, I just survived the smash of a giant boss and then mounted back in no time. This trick is quite helpful in preventing health damage to your character. This trick is an ultimate finisher move. If you manage to ward off your enemy's attack and knock them off your horse, you can perform the special finisher move on them while they're down. But be careful, if you get knocked off your horse near the enemies, they can do the same finisher move on you. Using the next trick, you can escape grab attacks quickly. Here you can see that we got grabbed by an enemy and our HP decreased to a significant amount because of a long grab span. Now, if we use this trick of pressing the buttons or triggers on our controller, we can break free faster. Keep in mind that this won't work for all grabs, but it is helpful for those that deal multiple strokes of damage. Up next, we have a charge attack, dodge cancel technique. With curved swords and thrusting swords, tapping dodge while charging a heavy attack can perform a nifty flip or backstep move. This technique can be useful in confusing your opponents and avoiding attacks while still damaging the enemy. The next trick is about changing your direction while double jumping your horse. It lets you change the direction you're going while in the air. As you can see, I can easily reverse my horse mid-air. This is handy when you need to carefully navigate down a big cliff with platforms. For example, if you mess up your navigation down any cliff or building, you can save yourself with a double jump. When you attack near ledges, your character usually moves forward and it feels like the character can fall off. But here, this hidden game mechanic prevents you from falling off this way. However, this doesn't apply to ledges where the fall won't kill you, so stay cautious near those. Shift your focus to the next trick. This trick will allow you to create a moving attack zone around your character that will allow strong attacks on enemies. Drag a big sword across the ground to create a strong attack. This trick helps deal with bigger enemies and can be done from the left side of your horse too. You can apply it when jumping as well. For example, it's handy for certain fights like the Tree Sentinel, where left attacks work best. The next trick is related to rainbow stones. These glowing rocks can be used to find if the fall is deadly or not. Simply drop them on the ground from a ledge. If they break with a loud sound, the fall will kill you. If it lands safely, you're good to drop down. While on horseback, we can easily execute mid-air attacks by performing a light attack after jumping. If you want to apply it with strong attacks, you should initiate charging the strong attack before the jump. This ability to perform mid-air strong attacks will be invaluable, especially when dealing with flying enemies. You can get knocked off your horse by getting staggered. This won't make any sound. The other way you could fall off is when your horse is running out of health and dying. During chaotic boss fights, it can be hard to tell if your horse is still alive after falling off because the animations look similar. But listen for an audio cue. When your horse dies, it makes a distinct death neighing sound instead of silence. Next up is an interesting stealth trick in the Elden Ring. If you manage to break the line of sight long enough during combat, your adversaries will likely lose track of you. You can sneak up, back for a backstab. Let's see another neat stealth trick in the Elden Ring. Enemies are attracted to sound, so you can use this to your advantage by shooting an arrow near them and they'll be distracted. You can even attack a wall behind the targeted enemy to divert their attention. The enemy will turn toward the sound, giving you an opportunity for a free backstab. Following that, let's learn about the thrust weapon horse combo. Thrusting swords, both normal and heavy, have a 2-hit strong attack combo while on horseback in Elden Ring. This trick can be quite useful, as it appears that no other weapon type has strong attack combos for horseback combat. Now let's see the next trick, of which half the players may already be familiar. The sparkling light circle will let you jump up high to reach cliffs. But we can also jump onto them without taking fall damage. This trick is about keeping an eye out for enemies with glowing orange eyes. They drop 5 times as many runes as normal when you defeat them. Any enemy can have these eyes, so whenever you spot one, it's worth taking them out, especially if they're tougher enemies. The next trick is about the combination of light attacks that incur more damage than separate non-chain attacks. Most combos have 5 hits, but bigger weapons usually have 4, and faster ones have 6. Remember that each swing in a combo deals more damage if you keep attacking. It's a bit tricky to spot since the numbers add up automatically above the enemy's health bar. Here's another interesting trick that could be used on horseback. As you know, two-handing a weapon increases the effective strength by 50%. Even on horseback, this holds true, despite the attack animation not changing. So if you two-hand your weapon before mounting your horse, you'll deal full two-handed damage. This trick is about breaking an enemy's stance and can be done using charged strong attacks, jump attacks, and guard counters. When you break an enemy stance by attacking them enough, you can land a critical hit. I tested this on the giant in the mines. When I attacked continuously, it took fewer hits to break a stance compared to when I waited between attacks. When you get trapped around big enemies, then you can use this trick as they can hurt each other with their attacks. Take advantage of this by circling and twisting through them with your horse. To practice this trick, go to the spot on the map where you can find 5 giants. Keep moving around them until they get killed with their attacks. Next one is about item drops. You may have noticed that when you defeat an enemy, a white soul departs from their body. It means they've dropped an item. This is handy for farming because you don't have to wait for the enemy's body to fall to know if they've got something. The next tip is about poison water areas. Be careful and don't ever roll through the poison, as doing this you'll get covered in it and it will be more dangerous, because the poison meter will keep rising even when you step out. The next one is a mechanic of the game. There are some groups of demi-human enemies in the Elden Ring that have a leader. If you manage to kill this leader, the smaller ones stop attacking you and surrender. Move on to the next trick. When you hit enemy shields, it causes your weapon to bounce back. You can use the handy trick to avoid that bounce. Use strong attacks or two-hand your weapon, and you'll be fine. Two-handing prevents your combo from being broken and can even break their guard. You have the option to allocate 4 items to your item pouch, found in the upper right corner of your screen when you access the menu. This grants you quick access to them by holding a triangle or Y key on the controller, eliminating the need to scroll through your entire inventory using the D-pad. If you haven't already, consider assigning your horse to one to enhance the ease of exploration. Another tip for thrusting weapons. You can block while attacking them. Just hold down the block button while pressing the light attack button. You can utilize attack moves on ladders other than just climbing on them. Press R1 to attack above and R2 to attack below you. You can also heal yourself while on ladders. This move can be handy during unexpected situations. As you can see, I easily hit the commoner pursuing me. Every weapon has a unique stealth attack where you trigger a light attack while crouching. Powerful and heavy swords can be more useful because they provide a super quick crouch attack. A crouch attack can be very useful as it usually is quicker than a normal light attack. Advance to the next technique of jumping over objects. We know we can break barrels and other breakable objects by rolling over or jumping near them. Jumping from far enough can land you on these objects. The next trick is about avoiding attacks with the help of jumps. You can dodge low to the ground attacks by timing your jump correctly. It's also useful if enemies or bosses do earthquake-type moves. Here's another stealth trick. Go for a charged attack over a mere backstab when approaching an enemy. The charge attack will grant you the full damage of the R2 attack alongside the backstab. Next, we have some map-related guidance for you. Uncovering the map is crucial in the Elden Ring, and you need to find map pieces to reveal it. I struggled to uncover Limegrave for a while, until I noticed an icon showing where to find the pieces. Next up, we have a trick to apply while climbing ladders. You can drop yourself from ladders quickly by tapping the dodge button. This is ideal for executing plunging attacks on enemies below you. When navigating slow-moving areas like lava zones, equip a dagger to utilize its quick-step weapon art. By repeatedly tapping L2, you can move much faster, making traversal less tedious and more efficient. This trick is related to bows. You can use a bow while jumping or immediately after rolling for a quicker throw, compared to firing while standing. This trick can be quite useful in close combat situations. While traversing inside the catacombs, we often encounter fire or smoke-breathing Imp Statues. We can lower them by striking them. Additionally, jumping over them will also activate them to rise back up, allowing you to easily ride to the top. Interestingly, we can even activate them from a distance using arrows. Using this trick, you can attack your enemies through walls. Normally, when you attack a wall, your weapon bounces off, but a jumping attack prevents this from happening. Using some weapons like the lance or whip while jumping can effectively and safely hit enemies through walls. This trick can be helpful for players who rely heavily on shields for blocking. While blocking, your stamina recovers at a much slower rate, so blocking isn't always the way to combat. Another effective trick related to shields is that you should put two hands on your shield. Two-handing your shield increases your stability, meaning you'll lose less stamina when blocking attacks. Fighting enemies like the Tree Sentinel becomes much easier, even with a low-level character and an unupgraded shield. When facing smaller human-sized enemies, you can often stagger them with a roll or jump, even without dealing any damage. This is particularly handy for breaking free when surrounded by weaker enemies, or just to irritate them. Switching between your right and left-hand weapons while riding your horse can be attained by using the two-handed input. For instance, this allows you to easily switch between your sword and catalyst to enchant magic. Now let's talk about the slick use of the hitbox. As we all know, hitboxes are precise in the Elden Ring, so you can take advantage against certain enemies or bosses by getting your character's hitbox low to the ground. You can do this by adjusting your weapon swings, or if you're feeling stylish, by using emotes. Shield bounce can be used as a handy trick in the Elden Ring. Sometimes when enemies attack your shield, they bounce off, giving you a chance to counter them. But it heavily depends on your shield's strength. Upgrading to a great shield makes more attacks bounce off, creating more opportunities for counterattacks. For those who rely on guard counters, investing in a great shield can make for a huge difference with them. Also, these shields will help you lose less stamina when blocking attacks. Next, let's avail the use of a handy shortcut. Finding the right item during chaotic fights can be challenging, but with this handy trick, you can save your time and health. Just hold down the D-pad to instantly switch to the item in your first slot, so you can put your healing flask there for quick access. You can also do this with spells by holding up on the D-pad. The double drinking technique involves healing twice in quick succession to fully restore health. Simply tap the heal button a second time immediately after the first heal finishes to trigger the second heal much faster. Mines in the game are marked with a little orange circle and a dark center. Mines are a convenient source to upgrade materials, containing plenty of those needed for weapon upgrades. Thanks for watching. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to like and share this video with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.